Okay, let's dive right in and talk about one of the most nerve-wracking interviews pretty much anyone can go through, the U.S. visa interview. It's usually super short, the stakes are incredibly high, and it can decide your entire future. But here's the thing, success isn't about luck, it's all about preparation and really understanding the game from the inside out.
This is the key question, isn't it? And the answer kind of reveals the big secret of the whole process. Your interview doesn't really start when you start talking. Nope, it starts the second that officer pulls up your file. And that's exactly why your prep work has to start way, way before you ever step foot in that embassy.
Every single successful interview is built on a rock-solid foundation. So let's break down the very first steps you need to take. If you get these right, I promise, everything that comes after will be so much easier. So before you even dream of filling out a form, you have to be absolutely crystal clear on why you're going. Is it for vacation, school, a new job? Then do this simple but vital check. Is your passport valid long enough? From there, you got to figure out the exact visa you need. And finally, go to the official government site and get the checklist for that visa. That document is going to be your Bible.
All right, I want you to start thinking about your application a little differently. This isn't just paperwork. You're basically building a legal case for yourself. Every single document is a piece of evidence. The goal? To create a file that's so clean, so complete, that it answers all the officer's questions before they even have a chance to ask them.
You would be shocked at how many applications get denied because of really simple, avoidable mistakes. Things like leaving a box blank, forgetting one document, or having travel plans that just don't add up. See, to an officer, these aren't just little slip-ups. They can be huge red flags that you're not taking this seriously. Every single detail matters.
And that brings us to the golden rule, the absolute non-negotiable part of all this. You have to be 100% honest. These visa officers have access to all kinds of databases. If you try to hide something like a past visa denial or you lie about your job, you're not just risking a denial. You could get a permanent ban from ever entering the U.S. It is just not worth it. Okay, now for the moment of truth. Let's pull back the curtain for a second and get a real insider's look at what's happening in those first few seconds when you get to the interview window.
So you walk up to the glass, you hand over your confirmation sheet, and then silence. It can feel a little awkward, right? The officer isn't even looking at you. Their eyes are just glued to their computer screen. The best thing you can do? Just be patient and let them work.
So what on earth are they looking at? What are they typing? Well, in those few critical seconds, they're getting a complete, high-level summary of your entire case history. This is their pre-game briefing, and it happens before you've even said hello. Boom! Right there on their screen, they can see your whole U.S. visa history, the good and the bad. They see if someone's filed a green card petition for you. They see any red flags from criminal databases. They're also doing a quick scan of your application answers, and yeah, they're making a quick judgment about your appearance. They know all of this before the first question is even asked. Okay, so now that you know what they already know about you, let's talk about how to handle the interview itself. It's often crazy short, sometimes just 2 or 3 minutes, so every single second and every word you say really counts.
Your goal is to be confident but not cocky. Listen very carefully to the question and answer only that question. Don't go off on a tangent. Stay calm. Be polite, even if the officer seems a bit grumpy. And seriously, if you don't know an answer, it is so much better to just say, "I don't know," than to guess and get it wrong.
Look, what you wear sends a message before you even open your mouth. It shows you respect the process. You don't need a tuxedo, but business casual is always a smart move. Think of it like you're going to an important job interview. Clean clothes, neat hair. First impressions are a very real thing here.
And here is a super simple tip, but trust me, it is absolutely critical. Do not be late. Showing up late can be a huge red flag that you're not taking this whole thing seriously. Plan to get there at least a half hour early. That gives you plenty of time to get through security and find your way around without stressing out.
All right, let's talk about the single most important part of the interview, especially for tourist or student visas. This is your core mission. Everything else we've talked about is really just to support this one crucial goal.
So, here's the deal. By law, the officer has to start with the assumption that you're secretly planning to move to the U.S. and never leave. It's kind of like you're guilty until proven innocent. Your entire job during that interview is to prove them wrong. You have to show them that you have strong reasons to go back home when your trip is over.
And when we say ties, we're not talking about some vague feeling.
We're talking about real, concrete things you can prove. Financial ties could be a house you own or a business you run. Family ties are your spouse, your kids, or maybe elderly parents you care for. And professional ties mean you have a good job that you have to get back to. You should have the documents ready to prove all of this.
At the end of the day, this whole process is an exercise in trust. The visa officer's job is to be a professional skeptic. They are paid to look for holes in your story. Your job, with your honest application, your organized documents, and your straightforward answers, is to build that trust in the very short time you have.
So you've got your folder of documents, and you've thought about your answers, but are you ready to build that bridge of trust in just a few minutes? When you focus on being prepared, being honest, and clearly showing why you have to return home, this whole thing changes. It's no longer something to be scared of. It becomes your opportunity to confidently make your case and prove you're exactly the kind of person they're looking for.